Hi boys and girls. Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about this continent called South America. In the background of our video, you'll even be able to hear a little bit of music from South America. South America is connected to North America by a little bridge of land. It's called an isthmus. An isthmus is a land bridge connecting two large pieces of land, like a continent. This isthmus is called the Isthmus of Panama. And North America and South America are both named after an Italian navigator named Amerigo Vespucci. So Amerigo used ships to navigate over to these lands. And they started to take over these lands and come into power there. But when he arrived, he certainly wasn't the first one to ever be here. People had lived in South America for many, many years. When he arrived, there were people that were hunters and gatherers. That means they would hunt for animals and gather nuts and different foods to eat. There were some who were farmers and learned how to use agriculture to plant and get the things they would need to eat. There was also a very impressive culture called the Incan Empire. So the Incas lived over on this side of the continent. And the Incas were super impressive because they didn't even have things like wheels. They didn't know how to use iron. And yet they built impressive architecture. They had roads that stretched all across their empire so they could reach all the different sides. One of the cool things we know about the Incas too is that they would tie nuts in string as a way to keep records, like to count, to say how many people live in this area, and to keep track, they would tie knots on these strings. And those strings were called quipu. Actually, I think it's pronounced kipu. And that's also how they would talk to each other sometimes. Instead of writing in a book, they would write down things on the strings. And now, unfortunately, people in the earth now don't know how to read those anymore. We've forgotten. But those were the Incas. Now, over time, as more people moved to South America, now almost everyone in the continent of South America speaks Spanish. They say, hola, buenos dias, when they want to say hello. Now, the people of the Incan Empire and some of the natives that still live in South America, they speak a language called Quechua. And in Quechua, if I wanted to say, how are you, when I'm saying hello, I would say, Imainala Kachkanki. Imainala Kachkanki. There's also a special language that people speak in this big country of Brazil. And the language they speak is Portuguese. Portuguese sounds a lot like Spanish. When people speaking Portuguese want to say hello and good day, they would say, hola, bom dia. Hola, bom dia. So now you know a little bit about South America. I also learned about all different animals that live there. So in a separate video, maybe I'll take an opportunity to share with you a little bit about some special animals that live in this continent.